A story that a lot of people missed on Saturday, September 22nd, was a historic agreement between Pope Francis and the Vatican and the communist Chinese state. And the crux of this deal is that now the Vatican has a say in the appointment of bishops in the state-supervised Catholic Patriotic Association. As many of you may know, the 12 million Catholics in China are split between the underground church, which is the church recognized or was formally recognized by the Vatican, and then the state-supervised Catholic Patriotic Association, which is pretty much a pawn of the communist state. The Vatican responded by saying that after years of negotiations, this was not political but a pastoral move. The Holy See made no mention of the state of Taiwan, which the Vatican recognizes diplomatically, but which China sees as a renegade province. Diplomats on both sides said that this was a possible precursor to a resumption in diplomatic relations with Beijing after 70 years of having no relations since the revolution in China. Beijing, as you may know, does not allow countries to have diplomatic relations with both China and Taiwan. Not everybody in the underground church was happy about this move. Cardinal Joseph Zen, who has at times been a political prisoner of the communist state, he is 86 years old and he's the former Archbishop of Hong Kong. He was very opposed to the deal and he said, quote, "They're giving the flock into the mouths of the wolves. It's an incredible betrayal. The consequences will be tragic and long-lasting, not only for the church in China, but for the whole church because it damages the credibility. Maybe that's why they might keep the agreement secret," unquote. Cardinal Joseph Zen told Reuters in an interview on Thursday. Vatican sources said the deal would not be published and can be reviewed and fine-tuned in the future, and this is a provisional agreement. The sellout part of this deal happens when the Vatican said that as part of the deal, Pope Francis would recognize the legitimacy of 7 remaining state-appointed Chinese bishops who had been named without papal approval and had been readmitted into the church. Cardinal Parolin, who is the Vatican Secretary of State and who is one of the chief architects of the deal, said, "Today, for the first time, all the bishops in China are in communion with the Bishop of Rome." And the Vatican also allowed in this deal that a few of the bishops appointed by Rome in the underground church will cede their places to the bishops who had been appointed by Beijing. So these loyal bishops, the ones who had stayed loyal for in some cases 70 years, will have to cede their places to the bishops that were appointed by the Communist Party. So now in this new arrangement, what's going to happen is the new bishops will be proposed by members of the local Catholic communities together with Chinese authorities, so with the state communist authorities. And then the names of the candidates will be sent to the Vatican and the Pope will make the final decision, the sources said. So basically so people loyal to the party and the communist officials, they're going to propose the people that are going to be bishops. However, on September the 28th, which was Friday, the Chinese government, the government-approved Chinese Patriotic Church, declared its independence, stating that it will remain loyal to the Communist Party. Now, under the deal, there was nothing saying that the Chinese Patriotic Church would not be loyal to the party, but they reasserted it. So this is a tremendous blow to Pope Francis's provisional agreement. And what happens in all of this is basically the Vatican ceded everything, and the Communist Church had to give up nothing. Because as I pointed out, the bishops, some of the loyal bishops will now have to cede their places to the communist bishops. And in most cases, it looks like the state is going to name who the bishop is, and the Vatican will just be able to confirm them or argue against them. But let's be honest, in most cases, they're probably going to confirm them, or otherwise this deal will go south very quickly, as it looks like it already has. This press release by the Patriotic Association said that the Chinese Catholic Church will continue to operate independently. And it says, quote, "We love the country and the church. We will carry forward the principle of independence and the concept of the Sinicization of religion while remaining on the path that leads to a socialist society." So right there in that statement, that's completely incompatible with the Catholic faith. And of course, independence means independence from the authority of Rome. And Sinicization refers to the process where foreign influences within China are made more compatible with Chinese culture. And in reality, what it means is the government's attempt to co-opt Christianity. And I'm reading this story from LifeSite News, so it's going to sound very similar to the article that was put out in LifeSite News. As many of you may know, if you pay attention to the plight of the church in China and Christianity in general, especially since 2014, but going back over the past 70 years, there have been waves of persecution against Catholics, and it's always continued against the underground church. Crosses are being removed, churches are being shut down, people are threatened for bringing children to church, and they're often rounded up and arrested for holding religious meetings in their homes. This entire deal is a complete act of betrayal by Pope Francis and the Vatican, and hopefully some people are waking up in light of all the other scandals. Hopefully with this on top of it, people are waking up as to the true nature of the pontificate of Pope Francis.